Hi, 8th graders. This is a tour of Mrs. Sobieraj's website. You have the McGraw-Hill website, your student portal. There's a separate video for that. And this is just for my website. So here we are at my laptop with my 3 children. You will be having a website quiz specifically on my website. I'll ask you questions like, how many children do I have? I have 3. Who are they? David, who works at the NFL Network. Brittany, who just passed law school and works in NCAA compliance at Northeastern University in Boston. And my son, Michael, who's entering his 3rd year in medical school at Quinnipiac, which is in Connecticut, which is where I am from because I graduated from University of Connecticut. Go UConn. Okay, so I'm going to open up a browser. I'm going to open up Chrome. And again, just as in my other video, I'm going to take you to Lindero first because I know you know how to get there. Then I'm going to take you to Popular and to Teacher web pages. And then I'm going to take you down to Sobieraj, it's alphabetical, and go to the Open Book, which is a link to my website. So here it is, a link to my website. I'm going to click there. And my website is teacherweb.com/CaliforniaCA/LCMS/Mrs. Sobieraj. When the district website is down, it is not an excuse for you not to go to my website directly, so make sure you bookmark this directly right now so that you don't have to go through the district. Okay, so here we are at my home page. There is a scrolling line up here, and usually I use it only to tell you when math help is for that week. Generally, it's always the same time, which is every day but Wednesday from 7:15 to 8:15 and from 3 to 3:45, except on Wednesdays. I'm not open on Wednesdays. I am not open at lunchtime, just so you know. For the people that take 0 period, that's why I'm open after school from 3 to 3:45. So as we look at my website, the first line, the first 4 icons across are a little about me, a little about the course, a little about your grade, and the parent letter. So I'm going to click on each one fairly quickly. Here's a little bit about me and my 3 children, which I just talked to you about, and my dog Penny. And so you can either go backwards, so now you can either go up here to the next page that you want to go to, or just go back up to the home page. The next one is about the course. If you click on here, there's a link to the Common Core standards if you care or your parents would like to go to the California State Standards. There's Welcome to 7 High, which I'm talking to 8th graders right now. Then there is Math 8 right here. And if you're in algebra, there's some information about your class here. So I'm going to go back to my home page and go to About Your Grade, which I know you're very interested in. And here are my grading policies. You've got assessments, which are basically tests, 40%, mastery of skills, which are basically quizzes that you can retake a total of 3 times. You can take it once and 2 retakes. 20%, project-based learning or performance tasks, however you want to explain them, is 20%. Those project-based learning are usually done during and at home. Performance tasks generally just in class. Classroom activities and homework. Homework includes the daily McGraw-Hill self-checks, which I'm not going to explain here because it's in my McGraw-Hill tour, and test corrections. If you receive less than an A on a test, you do need to rework the problems and correct them. And then there's a more intense discussion of each category. Then it tells you that my grades are uploaded generally on the weekend. I work all weekend, Saturday and Sunday, almost every weekend. And so the best time to check your grade is probably on Monday, either before school or after school. I'm going to go back to the home page. Parent letters. So on parent letters, when you click on that, I guess I missed it right there, you've got to make sure that you click on the right class. So algebra students, you're going to click on the first one for the parent letter. Math 8 kids, you're going to click on the second one. It really doesn't matter. I'll just click on the algebra one for now. If you didn't see it, it went down below. Let me move this so you can see it. It's a Word doc. I'm going to open it, and I'm going to enable editing so that I can flow through it. And there's my Algebra one. The Math 8 one looks almost exactly like this. It only just changes a few things. But what you need to know is on the very last page, it's page 6. This is all you need to print out, page 6. And by next Friday, I've already signed it. You need to print your name and sign it, and your parents need to print their name and sign it. And give me their email address, not your email address, because I'll have that, your student email. Okay, so I'm going to close that off, and I'm going to go back up to the home page. The next thing is the Student Information Survey link. Here it is. So I'm going to click on that. This is a homework assignment for the first week. It has to be submitted by Monday night next week. And if you click on it, it is a Google form. Everybody clicks on the same survey, no matter what class or period you're in. So it's critically important that you put in your last name, your first name, and which period you're in, because of course Google Forms will sort all this for me. And then it asks you some questions. I just want to highlight that there's a couple of questions for your parent or guardian, whoever takes care of you. One of them is at the very back, and the other one, let's take a look, is at the very top. And it is, I'm going to go to this version, and it is, do you have a special request where you want to sit in the room? So the first one is, do you have a request? And the second one is, do your parents have a request for where you sit in the room? Because I'll be making a new seating chart in a couple of weeks, and I use this. Okay, next, let's go back to the home page. And then let's go to link to your grade. You probably don't need this, but I've linked you here to the Aries online grade system, and there it is. So if you haven't bookmarked that separately, you can bookmark it from here. Again, my grades are updated weekly, generally speaking. Okay, so I'm going to go back to, actually this time I'm going to, no, I'll go back to home so you see it from the home page. Test correction forms. Again, remember you saw in the grading that if you get less than a 90%, you need to fill out this form. I've got it in both Excel format. If you have Excel, you can actually type on here, or PDF format. And basically what it has you do is write down all the problems that you got wrong, rework the problem, and give the correct answer. And that is a separate 5% of your grade. Okay, I'm going to go back home, and I'm going to go to videos. Obviously you got to videos, otherwise you wouldn't be watching this, but I'm just going to show you this page, because if you haven't gotten to it yet, there's a separate McGraw-Hill portal tour for algebra, and there's a separate one for Math 8. And I'm going to go back. Okay, so now, algebra kids, you are in the first row, and Math 8 kids, you are in the second row. These absolutely parallel each other, mirror each other, so it really doesn't matter what I click on. So I'll click back and forth. The first time I'll click on algebra. It looks exactly the same for Math 8. It is one of your first homework assignments to subscribe to my newsflash. I use this a lot, 8th graders. You need to do this. First of all, it is worth 10 points in your homework grade, but it's worth a lot more than that, because if I postpone a test, if I forget to do something in class and I newsflash you, if for some reason I can't do math help one day, and I find out, let's say I find out in the middle of the afternoon, and I won't see you before the next math help in the morning, I will newsflash you. So you click on subscribe to the newsflash. You put in your full name, not just Michelle. You put in Michelle. My name is Sobieraj, so I'll just say Michelle Sobieraj. And you have a choice to send the email to your computer or you can click here and send it to your mobile device. If you send it to your computer, it asks for your email. You should be using your student Lindero email here and click subscribe. If, on the other hand, you would rather it go as a text message to your cell phone, you put your cell phone number here, you find your provider. Mine is AT&T, which is right here. I'll just click on that. And then once you do that, you send a test email and see if it gets to your phone. If it does, then hit subscribe. I'm going to go back. So Math 8 kids, it looks exactly like it. It just says Math 8 instead of algebra. Okay, class notes and homework. I'm going to click on Math 8 this time to be fair. And so the class note and homework page looks like this, and every week there'll be an additional week. I keep them all online for the entire semester. So obviously the first week is the week of 8/22. I'm going to click on this, and you'll get to a page that not only has the assignments. Let's look at the assignments. Here they are. It says homework right here. It says homework. And here are all the assignments for the first night of school, Math 8. They're the same thing for algebra. But it's also my class notes for the entire day, what we did in class. And it'll also bring you some to links. So like you have to do the parent letter. I have a link to the parent letter right here. And it tells you you can look ahead at things that are happening for the week. I post this generally on Sunday night. Excuse me. It does tell you that you're responsible for checking the daily PowerPoint in class, because sometimes I change things, or I may even change something after school. I may say to myself, oh, that didn't go well. Let's review that tomorrow. So make sure you're always checking the PowerPoint in school, as well as the news flashes, as well as the website. I'm going to go back, and I'm going to go home. Okay, so we did newsflash, we did class notes and homework. Again, it's not just the homework assignment, it's also the notes from the day. So if you're ever absent or you kind of lose focus in class, which I know would never happen, you could always click on my website to see the notes. Packet covers. We do weekly homework packets. In algebra last year, they voted to start turning them in on Monday. The Math 8 kids, however, wanted to turn them in on Friday. They didn't want to have to worry about them over the weekend. I really don't have a preference, so I'll leave that up to the classes. So algebra students will vote separately from the Math 8 students. And again, it's a weekly packet, so it either will be due Friday or it will be due Monday. The good part about Monday, of course, is you have the weekend to finish anything in case you had a busy week. The bad thing is then, some of you will kind of procrastinate, and then you'll end up having to do some things on the weekend that if you had had it due on Friday, it would have been easier on you. And so I'll just click on, let's see, what am I up to now? Algebra. Let's click on algebra. So here are the cover sheets. Again, every week there'll be a new date here. I put it as this Friday, 8/26. And it's a PDF, and it gives you, it's basically a table of contents of everything that's due that week, as well as, take a look, it also gives you in these boxes below some key important information. Like we're having a McGraw diagnostic test this Friday. It doesn't go into your Aries grade, but it will help you to know your strengths and weaknesses and the entire class's strengths and weaknesses. At the beginning of the year, there's lots of things that you have to hand in. So this box talks about what's due next Friday. This box tells you when math help is generally, and so I'm going to go back. So again, if I go to, I'm going to go directly to Math 8 homework packets now. It looks exactly the same. Okay, I'm going to go home. The last thing in each row is algebra practice tests and class handouts and Math 8. Okay, so I'm going to go algebra. So algebra practice tests and class handouts, and again, it mirrors it in Math 8. It's not only practice tests, which are really, really helpful, but it's all the handouts. Now, there are times when I forget, and you can email me gently and politely, Mrs. Sobieraj, the handout's not online. and I'll get it to you. And thank you for emailing me, so because other people are probably going to have the same question if I forget to upload something. I am going to also use Google Classroom this year for the first time. All 8th graders have laptops. They didn't last year, by the way, 8th graders. You were the first class to have laptops. Um, you got them in 6th grade. And so this would not only have practice tests, and these are 2 practice tests from last year, which I'll get rid of soon. But here is the first night of homework. And again, I'm doing this video early, so it's before school. It's actually June right now. So I'm going to click on Acrobats, and it's a handout. So this is algebra, and by the way, algebra students, there's probably going to be another one as well. But right now, that's all I have uploaded. So if I go to Math 8, practice tests and handouts, they're getting a different one. It's called Tom and Barb, and it's also a word problem about getting a bunch of people across the water in one raft. Okay, so I'm going to click back, and I'm going to click back, and I'm going to go home. The next row is all 7 high. It's the other class that I'm teaching this year. And then this is just for algebra students right now. I do not know Math 8 why they haven't done this yet on McGraw-Hill, but for Algebra 1, and granted, Algebra 1 is even more difficult than Math 8, and Math 8 is pretty difficult, they give us PowerPoints for each lesson. So Algebra 1 kids, take a look as I click on this. It's each chapter, lesson by lesson, there's a PowerPoint. And I'm just going to click on chapter 1-5. What you're going to see is it came down here. So if you don't have PowerPoint, yeah, this is not going to help you, and I apologize. But most students do have PowerPoint in this day and age, or something that will read PowerPoint. You'll have to enable editing. It's called Interactive Classroom. You go to slideshow, of course, from beginning, or you can simply, and I'm just going to click, you can simply click on the actual slide that you want. They give you checks, they give you the answers to the checks, and then I'm just clicking really, really fast. It gives you a problem that is from the lesson, it checks your progress, and basically anything that's in the book as examples, it takes you through in a PowerPoint. So it's pretty cool. So it's another way I'm going to escape that you can help yourself this year. And then finally on the home page, other than the Connect Ed link to McGraw-Hill, is I do give you a countdown to the next grading period. So every 5 weeks there's a grading period or progress period. So this will change every day and every moment. Right now it is counting down to, guess what, August 24th. And you're probably watching this, so it's probably saying 000 at this moment on the first day of school. But I will be replacing it with the countdown to your first 5-week progress report. Again, I'm doing this in June, so right now it's counting down to the first day of school, 62 days, 19 hours, 42 minutes, 19 seconds, 18 seconds, etc. So thank you for taking the tour, and I'll see you in class.